Hi, Rachel. Welcome to our event expert series, Practical Solutions for Event Profs. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Really well, thank you. Before we get started, do you want to introduce yourself and share where you're from and your background in events?
Sure. How long do you have?
All the time.
Anyways, I'm Rachel Stephan. I'm an event marketer to start. I started in the industry in 2001, marketing events, and soon after transitioned to event tech founder, founding Snöball, a peer-to-peer marketing solution. It's been a few years now, and this is my main focus right now is really helping organizers get more people, the right people in the room with peer-to-peer marketing.
And that is really why I wanted to chat to you today about this subject. Obviously at FAIR, we talk about exhibitors all the time, but you and I both have, although we're in event tech space now, we have event marketing background. So we feel the pains of event marketing.
Oh, yeah. And the stress, that's like, oh my God, is registrations coming in? Where are they coming? And they all come in closer to the event. So it's more stressful.
Oh, 100%, 100%. So I think really today we're just going to focus on the exhibitor side because attendee and visitors and delegates, whatever events they have, that side of it is such and maybe another topic for another day. But for exhibitors, we really want to talk about what opportunities there are to engage exhibitors for events. Is that still a good mechanism for event organizers, particularly around exhibitions and trade shows, to reach new markets? So I suppose really my first question is, what is the opportunity for organisers and the scope of that opportunity?
I mean, the way I approach it really is about approaching every single person who's part of the event to help you get, tap into their networks and their connections. And specifically in the exhibitors world, I mean, it's a win-win situation. It's a business need that they need to also showcase that they're there. They need to showcase they're going for different reasons, whether they're launching products, services, meeting new people, meeting their clients, all that. So having that collaboration with the organizers to both tap into each other's networks and help expand that reach is really important for them. And sometimes, I mean, they have a lot of ask of exhibitors usually, and I'm an exhibitor myself. When I go to events and I get 10 million emails and 10 million things that I need to do, it's a little bit overwhelming. So having something that makes it easy for them and not an additional task that they need to add on their things to do to get to the show is really important for adoption and for people, exhibitors, to kind of take on that role or responsibility also in promoting the event with the event organizer.
Oh my God, when I was doing the marketing campaigns, it was always just, if we could get exhibitors to send one email, if we could just get them to do one social post, we used to try and track it and everything. But obviously that was like a decade ago. Is that still the same, what people are trying to achieve?
It's still the same. It's still a struggle to get them to do something. So the less barriers or less things you ask them to do themselves manually, and the easier you make it for them to do, you're more likely to get better results with it. So and then there's the workload on the side of the organizer. So if you're preparing these assets for them usually and you send it to them, and if you're doing it, that's a lot of time spent on that too. And if they're not doing it, plus you mentioned the word tracking, so those mostly, if they're done manually in-house and sent out, it's like it's like you wish you send it out and you wish it's happening, but you have no idea if it's happening. So tracking is really important, and making it easy for the organizers and the exhibitors themselves when they get it to be able to do just with a click of a button, just send it out.
Yeah. And what other opportunities are there in the marketing mix? What are you seeing is still really popular in terms of generating that awareness? Is it
in general or
general, but like on the social front, is it still the same channels that it was 10 years ago, or has it moved on? Is that too simplistic?
I see more opportunity or more from the data that we've seen, analytics that we've gathered on campaigns actually that we've run in Snöball for our clients. The number one priority or channels are more private channels. that you see people sharing most, and especially in exhibitions because it's businesses too, and you're expecting that exhibitor to send it out to maybe their prospect list, to their client list. So what they're doing is they're sending it via an email, or they're sending it via private messages. So it could be Teams, could be on Slack, it could be SMS, which is also very high. If you're talking in the Middle East, for example, WhatsApp is very popular. So those different private channels kind of rank higher than LinkedIn in what we've seen. So having that opportunity and the chance for them to leverage that, because you want them to email their clients, because you want to tap into their connections and their people, because the idea for the organizer is getting new people and getting the right people in the room. So that's your quickest channel into that to expand.
Yeah. And I suppose that's hardest for marketers because they can't influence that channel. I mean, you and I have been on a WhatsApp chat, like even this week, that we're on a group of people and we're chatting about IMEX and who's going to IMEX Frankfurt, and that's completely out of the organizer's control that we're having that conversation.
They have no idea. And that, I mean, even like I say WhatsApp in the Middle East, but I mean, we've been using it quite often ourselves in our group, but essentially any event that we've been going to, even here in the States, for example, before the event, one or two person will start a group chat in WhatsApp and invite anybody we know is going. And then the other person, they know someone else was coming, so they add them to the group, and it creates that mini community of people, peers that are going together to that show. So that you have, the organizer has no visibility whatsoever on that. But the influence is there. It's still peer-to-peer influence.
Yeah, which is the strongest, right? It's you're more likely to attend an event if a friend or a peer is going.
Exactly. Or your competitor, for example, if you're looking at exhibitors, when they see if you're making it visible and that exhibitor is promoting they're going and all that stuff, and their competitor sees they're going, it's like, oh, wait a second, we both kind of serve the same clients in a way. So if this company is going, it means that there's an opportunity there. So let me look into it. So exhibitors might influence other exhibitors to also attend, which is also an interesting case because one just new client that we just started working with, they brought that use case to us recently last week. They want to create a campaign, a referral campaign, exhibitor to exhibitor.
Wow. Okay.
So that was unique. It's like, interesting. But that's always fascinating. So, you have the tool, but what you do with it is always fascinating to see what each client brings in as an idea that they want to do with it. It's like, okay, exhibitor to exhibitor makes sense, because sometimes, I'm an exhibitor too. And sometimes I might reach out to you because it's a complementary, for example, technology or provider or partner we work with. Like, are you going too? It's like, oh, well, let's meet up there, So it helps. And then would ask me, it's like, okay, well, you've been to that one. What do you think about that one? It's like, yeah, it was great for us. We met the great people, great clients. They're really good for our, target audience and everything. It's like, oh, okay, me too. I'm looking to attract this kind of clients. So you might influence them to also exhibit. So that's an angle that, may be interesting to look into.
That's so important and so huge because we do, I've joked a number of times about setting up an event marketeer group for event technology marketeers about, sharing ideas and collaborating together. Again, it's so niche, isn't it? That's like the nichest of niche communities or WhatsApp groups. But it's that, hey, did you go to this event? Who did you see? Because I think for everybody, budgets are tight, aren't they? So it's sort of like, where can we see the people we want to meet?
Exactly. So you always look for a validation for someone that that might have exhibited at that event or attended that one. It's like, okay, you went to that one. What do you think about it? Is it worth the investment of money and time for us to go there? So it's really important.
In terms of getting those exhibitors engaged, have you seen any cool tricks that have really, really worked, or whether that's gamification or, so I've seen that a few times, incentivizing exhibitors, whether it's a stand discount for next year, if they, do a certain amount of activities. Have you seen anything like that or any other cool ideas that you've thought, oh, wow, yeah, I wish people knew about that?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Incentivizing it works for for different reasons, different groups, and with different incentives. So obviously, not everybody's maybe mobilized by monetary incentives. And when you're looking at exhibitors, is different ones. So you can look at it two ways. So either you're incentivizing the company, the brand that's exhibiting, or incentivizing the actual rep, the person who's going or who the one promoting for you. So, different levels. So if you're looking at the company, yes, maybe like a discount or priority picking their booth for next year, or maybe let's say if they're limited to a number of reps that they have at the show, maybe giving them the chance to add another person, or giving them a special discount, exclusive discount that they could offer to their clients. So that's something that feels like, that exhibitor is extending that discount to their clients. That's something interesting to look at. In other cases, could be digital opportunity, like a digital marketing opportunities. So they give them visibility options that they can promote themselves or highlight a certain exhibitor that way. And it could be also in other ways, if it's a further person, like something more like around the experience. Maybe they have some access to certain VIP areas or functions that they can give them access to. I've seen also internal companies try to incentivize their sales team, for example. So if they share and they get the most referrals going on, they get to go to the show. So there's multiple ways that it's really understanding a little bit each industry, vertical, and group of audience, and see which works best for them. And the thing is, like, there's no like one solution. So you can have multiple incentives at different phases, because when we start these campaigns, typically they're started like a few months before the event. So you can run a campaign for like a month, for example, see how it works. So you can do A/B testing. So if that incentivizes more people to do it, then you can continue, or maybe like next month is a different type of incentive that you would run for them. So it's really important to kind of play around and see and track the adoption and the sharing. One other thing I would say, also on the incentive part of it, what we found is that when there's one big prize, typically you see maybe less, because sometimes if you're sending it to like a few hundred or a few thousand people, and they say it's like, okay, there's one prize, like what are my chances? So they won't feel likely to engage, because my chances of winning are very slim because there's only one. If you look at it and you have way too many choices, like a small prize but many of it, that means it increases my chance to win. So you have more adoption in participating in the campaign when they feel that they get the chance to win. So it could be like a small, like a gift card of something, for example, but you have like hundreds of them, then I might win that. But if you have one big prize, like,
yeah,
I know my chances are not that big.
Yeah, like winning the lottery. I think, do you know one thing that makes me feel a bit weird? And I don't know whether it's because I'm British, but when you get the some companies do like or some events do like a chart, like you're going up. If you do all these things, you can gain the points and you can be
the leaderboard.
Leaderboard, that's the word I'm looking for. And it just makes me feel a bit, when we're exhibiting at shows, or even as a visitor, I don't know, does it work? Is it just me? Is it just me thinking ick? It gives me the ick.
It gives you ick, and some other places, they love it. They want to see where they are. And then even the client will even make it public and put it on the event website, the ranking, especially for exhibitors, because they have them, the program that's called the Exhibitor Recruitment Challenge. So it's a challenge that they put it out publicly, and then they compete to be there, because that exhibitor is getting their visibility on the event website specifically for that campaign. So again, it really goes back into like the culture, the industry, different aspects. And you have to really know your audience and see what they like and what they don't.
Yeah. And maybe it's just my personal ick.
I'm very competitive, so it gets me a little bit angry. If I'm you're like 500s in this, and then you are the top 3. It's like, what are they doing? What's the hack? Why am I not there? So it gives me anxiety. So it does the opposite of what maybe they wanted to do. So it's personal, I guess.
It does light a fire under some people for sure. Absolutely. I've got I want to tackle this next question from two different lenses, like really two different perspectives. From event tech experience, so as a provider of tech, what would you like to see organizers doing more of for their marketing campaigns, particularly in these areas of exhibitors?
What I'd like them to do more of, that's an interesting question. That's a question I usually ask the client and ask them to see, like, what would you like to do more of it? Obviously, they want them to promote more. They want them to email and communicate more to their clients, and then send out invitations, be more active in promoting more than that they usually do. Yeah.
I think for me, I want to see more organizers broaden their horizons of the event tech that they use, rather than just using that one single platform and just getting by with it for a few years. It's like actually so many partners now in the event tech community. You kind of have a lot of people who willing to work together, like us, we know each other, we exhibit at shows together, we're industry pals, and there's a more of a collaborative experience there, and that allows people to build their tech stacks. And for marketeers, I just find that they sit with pain for so much longer than they need to.
Yes, that's a great point. And then sometimes they're sitting in it just because they don't feel like doing any change about it, because there's so much that goes into it and they're already stretched thin anyway. So why shake it? But the thing is, it's not working in some cases. Mm-hmm. So that's a painful one to watch and see, to be honest with you. And you mentioned the tech stack. It's so important because there's no silo in tech. It has to communicate and then seamlessly move the information and the data and the stats between different platforms. And sometimes it could be mind-boggling just to see the flow of what the client envisions for that. And then you go into the challenge of the tech companies together to collaborate and their willingness to collaborate. Because sometimes, as a small player, sometimes like, okay, we're agile, we can do it, let's do it. But then you kind of bump into large ones where the process is a little bit stricter, or God knows what's happening in the background. Maybe they have something that they have in mind. So it kind of blocks, but the one hurting is the client, because they asked for it, they wanted, and yet there's no collaboration between the technologies. And in other cases, it works so well because, in essence, like in our case too, it's about marketing, getting the word out. So the more you maximize the touch points and the places that you're asking your people, in this case exhibitors, to promote for you, the better. So we need to be placed a little bit in all of them and work and plug into all of these tech companies. So that's why we're trying to kind of leverage the most, is to expand and optimize the opportunities for amplification and for promotion in different spots.
Yeah, 100%. And now from an exhibitor's point of view, the other side, as an exhibitor yourself, we exhibit all the time as well. What would you like to see more organizers doing more as an exhibitor?
As an exhibitor, I'd like to have visibility over who else is going to be there, especially of the people, visitors, or coming to the show, so that I can prepare better as an exhibitor who I want to meet or get in touch with or be in front of. So visibility to do that, and allow me the opportunity to communicate with them ahead of time. Not through the just like booking and the automatic thing, but maybe a way to filter out all my own, specific groups of people, create group of interest, connect with them ahead of time, and then possibly meet them at the show.
Yeah, it's interesting you said Explory did a survey a couple of years ago on exhibitors, and more access to data was one of those exact points, exactly as you said. But I think organisers get very nervous about it because they think we want a data grab as an exhibitor, but it's not. It's part of obviously marketers love data, but it's more that we position ourselves, build greater awareness. So I think
maybe they could do it in a way that, you can give us visibility to who's there, but without sharing their emails or anything specifically, but at least, see it other than when you get the app and you get to see and you have to tell them again list before you get to the ones, but also ability to group send them a message or do something specific that you can do. It's part of exhibitor marketing also, so you're communicating with potential audience for you. It could be an opportunity for organizers to monetize that too. They give the opportunity for upsell this to exhibitors or sponsors to communicate with their niche target audiences.
100%. That'd be so valuable as an exhibitor. I think for us, I mean, it's why I joined FFAIR, because exhibiting is really difficult. So we're there to make it easier with a single platform. I used FFAIR as an exhibitor before I joined FFAIR. So
that's the best use case. Yeah, like when you adopt it, when you know exactly, you come in with the pain and you see like, finally, the solution that solves those. It's amazing.
Yeah. If there was one thing, I'm all about takeaways, proactive rather than, proactive solutions. If there was one thing an event organizer could do today to help that exhibitor engagement and exhibitor marketing piece, what would you recommend?
Use Snöball. You can edit that out.
No, not at all. That's staying in.
I mean, it's all about making it easy for the organizer and the exhibitor. Like you said, you're doing FFAIR does their fair part of making it easy for exhibitors in terms of all of the logistics and the planning and all that stuff. We're making it easy in the side of marketing. So it's done for them and it makes them easy for them to help promote it and get the word out for them. So and then remember, for organizers, you don't market alone. So you have all these people, not just exhibitors, your visitors, the speakers, your team members, everybody can help in getting the word out and promoting for you.
I absolutely love that. Don't market alone. That's amazing.
Yes.
What a line. What a line. That's amazing. Is that your strap line for Snöball?
It is. We're actually redoing our website right now, so that's going right on the new website.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for joining me in this conversation. Where can people find out more about you and Snöball?
We can. I'm always on LinkedIn. We can find me, Rachel Stephan, and the website is Snöball, SNOBALL.events. You can find more, and the new website is coming up in the next couple of weeks. We'll be up and running.
You're in the pain of launching a new website.
I'm excited to get it out finally, to be honest with you. I'd love your feedback when you get it out.
100%. Thank you so much, Rachel. Thanks.
Thank you for having me.